This is what I think we're going to try to make. Or probably. No, this one that leaks up in the library. This one is cherry. This is elm, and then this is ash. And you don't have to make them all the same size. You make one to go in the pocket.
Where are you putting that one?
How come you need so many canteens?
Where you got an army of this?
One for each pocket.
Yeah.
Are you a wino or what?
Pretty cute. Well, I'm going to have a couple more time we get done here. Okay, here's what we're kind of going to end up with. It's hollow. This is before we get it completely finished, but this is the goal. I'll pass that around, but I'll need that to finish up with. You can use, for decorative purposes, you can use about any kind of wood, but if you want to really put liquid in it, I think, something like white oak is probably the best. That's what they make wine barrels, whiskey barrels out of, so it'll hold liquid. I'm going to use this piece of ash. This is 4.5 inches wide, 7 inches long, and it's 8/4. And by the way, if anybody's interested, I've got about half a dozen handouts that I could give away. The most important part to start with is getting it set up accurately. So it's very helpful to start with a good square piece. Find your centers on the ends, on each end, and at least one face. Thought I'd do that face too, but anyway. I mounted on a worm screw drive. And no longer we're going to be doing it, and these are very safe. But I want to give you a tip on if you haven't used a worm drive, when you put it in your chuck, and if you've got a chuck, you're about going to need a chuck to do this project. I suppose you could do it without it, but it'd be hassle. When you get a chuck, you usually will get a worm drive with it. And when you put it in your chuck, there's, I'll just take it out. There's some flats on it. And those line up with your jaws. And there's this indentation that goes in your jaw teeth there, or whatever. And when you get it down, pull it forward so that, because when you screw this on, that's going to tend to pull it loose. So it couldn't kind of pull loose. So just good and snug. Just thread her on here. I knew. Always take your spindle lock out. Okay. And when you're doing this, it's a good idea to wear a full face shield. You may get the idea later on here. First thing I'm going to do is kind of true up this face. I've got some surface blanks here, and they're nice and flat, but it could, once you screw this on here, it could be off just a little bit. So, good idea to flatten them anyway. I'm going to use a bowl gouge and just kind of smooth this out here. That's probably sufficient. We don't need to go out here because that's going to get turned away. Now, you need to make a recess to reverse chuck it later on. And that's, I wanted to tell you, in laying this out, one of the best tools I ever bought was this center finding ruler. It sure makes laying these out a lot simpler, more accurate. Okay, my chuck is about 2 inches, so I'm going to make it about 2 1/8. This point's not going to touch, I hope. Only going to go about 3/16 of an inch deep. Just enough for the chuck to hold it. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Got a dovetail. Just put a slight dovetail on it inside. All there, oh. We got one more thing to do. Get your Big Chief pencil out. And make some concentric rings. Okay. Can you see that?
Yep.
Now we're done with that.
Get it on.
The other way. There you go.
Thank you.
Righty tighty, left loose. Motion.
Now I hope we can get the chuck off. For no my own strength, I guess. Now we're going to turn it between centers. We're going to look and see what I thought would make a better top and better bottom. Doesn't matter really. Okay, I've got a stab center here. Kind of a little extra safety. Kinda.
Hopefully.
Okay, now that's in spindle mode. But here's my spindle roughing guide. Now this is I just want to say, this is in spindle mode, but don't use a spindle roughing gouge here. Because you can see how this can get caught if you get aggressive, and spindle roughing gouge wouldn't take it. So we're going to turn away, make this shape. Where's all those canteens out
Would it
somewhere?
be better to cut that on a bandsaw, just to cut the corners off first?
No, no. This is gonna be in here like this. Now this isn't scary as it looks. Where you going, Kenny? I'm standing back.
See the front shot of that, Kenny? Come around here and get a front shot of that?
Yeah, right.
How fast can you carry that, though? Pretty
Oh,
fast.
yeah, this is about 1800. Give or take, this thing varies. But with so much gap passing, you know, you're cutting a small amount of wood, you know, relatively speaking.
A lot of air.
So the speed is your friend here. It's gonna, the faster it goes, the more often, you know, you're gonna be hitting solid wood. So, did I mention don't use a spindle gouge, roughing gouge? Okay. Don't use a spindle roughing gouge if I didn't. Can you see those rings that I drew? Do I need to darken them?
No, they're good, okay.
Even though, you know, I got a ways to go, I'm still trying to practice my curve, you know, so that I'll be practiced up when I get there. And I'm going to stop when this starts getting round. Another trick, you can, you know, draw a circle here like I did with the compass, and it'll help you tell when it's getting round, but it's not really a problem. You can use a regular bowl gouge, but I found this big boy works a lot better. You know, a smaller bowl gouge kind of dances around, chatters a little bit. This guy does a pretty good job. We got a ways to go. You kind of want to keep your hands behind the tool rest. And I'm watching up here. I'm not looking at my tool. I'm watching up here, and I can see the profile. You can probably see it too, can't you? You can see it while I'm cutting. Is it going away there? Got down to one line, but see, that first line really doesn't count because it went off. So I need to go down to this second line. Believe it or not, you need to take light cuts. You know, even though this is in spindle mode, And it looks, when it's turning, it kind of looks like a solid piece of wood, you know, but it's not. And then if you get aggressive, it's tell you about it. I didn't look to see where I'm at. Okay, I'm getting close. Take a little there. Well, I ended up with a little flat spot. Okay, we'll come back. Okay, I want to leave this one a little bit larger than this because this is, I'm going to put a tenon on here on this end and to fit in my chuck. So I need to make sure it's big enough. This is the hard part, to me. sneaking up on it. Taking me off of this one. A little bit of a flat. Get rid of it. Anybody out there? You sleep yet? Okay. Now, you can go ahead and start turning the profile on the spout. This is going to be the spout, and this is going to be the foot. You can start turning the profile here now, but I prefer to do it when I got it in the chuck. A little, I don't know, more secure feeling, I guess. So I'm going to put a tenon for the chuck. A slight dovetail for my chuck. That's really all you need so that your jaws will register against this surface. I mean this surface. Oh, before I take it out of between centers, now's the only chance you have for sanding this. And
That's gotta be tricky.
yeah, you gotta get your steel hand out. No, you don't. You don't sand it with the lathe going.
What fun is that?
That's just like don't use the spindle gun. Don't use the hand sand. I use the random orbit sander. I just start out with like a 100 or 120 or something.
What'd you do? Make a tool to align the sandpaper?
To do what?
To align the sandpaper with the holes?
Yeah,
Did you make a tool there?
Oh, yes, I did.
that's cheating.
I thought everybody had that.
Way too much time.
Okay,
Thank you for that.
I sand it
You should plug it in.
and, huh?
You should plug it in.
Would I go faster?
It works better.
But it makes a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Anyway, as you sand, rock it back and forth so you maintain this curve. Because otherwise, if you're just sanding, you'll have a bunch of flat spots. So,
Fred Flintstone standard.
pardon?
Fred Flintstone standard.
Yeah. Okay, we got it sanded.
Is that all you sanded?
Yeah, I got it sanded.
Oh, wow.
You like that?
For my next
And you didn't even hear it, did you?